Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Here is my Leather Plus planner, and I'm really enjoying this. I got this several months ago. I love the Traveler's Notebook format because you can put in notebooks, inserts, and you can take them out as they get full, and then you don't have lots of bound notebooks that are, I don't know, sitting around, or maybe you use a notebook for a while and then you get tired of it. This way you can switch, add, take out, move around as suits your needs and your wishes. So, and my prayer notebook or insert are now full. So as you can see, I've gone to the last page. I've had fun embellishing that and writing down my thankful items in my life. I highly recommend doing that to keep a positive look and to see your blessings and not just to dwell on maybe the things that are going wrong. It's easy to get into that, what I call the pit of despair, where we just notice the bad things. Keeping a gratitude journal is a great way to keep a more realistic viewpoint. And then here in my prayer insert, I'm down to my last page, which I will fill up in a day or two. So, or I may just take it out now since it's so full. And I'm just thumbing through so you can see I generally just wrote on here, but I maybe wrote boldly some letters or used some stamps or mixed up my inks a little bit. I like to throw in washi tape for variety and just to add that artistic flair to my thoughts and my expression on paper. So what I wanted to share with you is, well, two things, or perhaps more, because I tend to say more than I think I'm going to be talking about. These were homemade, so you can find places on YouTube that instruct you on how to make junk journal inserts, but you can probably figure it out. You just take the length and the width, you double the width, fold it in half, staple it or sew it shut. Now when I was first starting my Traveler's Notebook journey, I'm trying to find the center here. As you can see, I did the pamphlet stitch and I tied these on the outside. Now I tie them on the inside anyway. And I decorated them with old calendar pictures. This is my beautiful granddaughter, Olivia, who lives in Alaska and soon to live in Italy. And then here's just a washi taped one. And I made these, I had all kinds of stuff on hand. I just used what I had to see if I liked this style of notebook. But now these two are full and ready to be replaced. If you can see, I have inserted them in my Traveler's Notebook cover within this piece, which is called a dashboard. So if you're not familiar with this, I'll show you, but if you've been in this for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's the strand that comes with the notebook. Here's one of the rubber band pieces that allow you to add more to your book. So these two are going to be coming out. So I'll insert one around the original elastic, and then I'll slide in my other one right here where the additional elastic has been added. I made two more notebooks. I often buy them, but I probably just as often I make my inserts to save a little money. Of course, the ones I've bought online are probably a little better quality. They're sturdier, the paper is thicker. They obviously look more professional, but these are going to be used by me to keep track of my gratitude, blessings, thankful items, and to keep track of prayer requests. So I don't need anything fancy for that. I have chosen to use a mix of tea-dyed or coffee-dyed paper and scrapbook papers that look a little more vintage or worn. I like to do that sometimes. Not always. I like bright colors too. But I thought that'd be a fun way to use up the paper, and I've done the same here. This is cute paper because it looks collagey and it's just all printed on there. I think that was from Walmart. Anyway, so there you go. So some of the pages are blank. I will, as I record thoughts and prayers and so forth, in this book, I will go ahead and probably ink up the edges on occasion, or I'll add some color with my Neo colors, or with my ink pens, my Jelly Roll pens, or with washi tape. So I'm going to keep the inside just as it is, decorated as I go. This has already got a decorated cover, more or less. I mean, I could add something, maybe, whoops, like this canning jar label, which actually I think really makes that pop. I'll probably glue that on there. And then I'm going to probably keep with a more vintage, subdued color theme for this cover, because the inside's like that, and the way my brain thinks is they have to all work together. And then again, I may decide to do something else. But anyway, so what I'll be working on is decorating this, maybe enhancing this, and then when I'm done, I will come back and show you what I did to these, and we will make the switch over into my traveler's notebook. I'll take out the old ones and put in the new. Those old ones will be stored with my other used inserts until I come up with a really brilliant idea on what to do with them. So that will be all for just a moment, and we'll be right back. Hang on. Decided to do with this insert. This is going to be my gratitude insert, or blessings, thankful items to the Lord for the good things He's done in my life and the things I'm aware of that has grown me and taught me. So I've glued on this label here. I'm going to glue on this cutout from a scrapbook paper pad. I've just folded the edge a little. I will attach it here so it doesn't take up so much of the cover, and it gives it an asymmetrical, less formal look. And then I tore out this little piece of a Bible page. This is just something I picked up. It was at a giveaway. It's an inexpensive New Testament. So I'm using that for different scrapbooking things. This book from Thessalonians, verse from Thessalonians says, we give thanks to God always for all of you, constantly mentioning you in our prayers. So since it mentioned thanksgiving, thankfulness, I'm going to probably tear that edge up a little bit and attached that there. And I just wanted to show you briefly this Tim Holtz tool. It's a distressor. You can use it on your edge pages to roughen up the look just a little. So I think that that is a good thing to do here, because it's got this vintagey look. So I don't want everything looking very pristine and neat and tidy. I want to rough it up, make it look a little bit weathered. I won't do the back because it's too small to hang on to that and distress it. But then this will go on something like this or like this, and that just gives it a little touch of creativity, that random look that I like, the collagey look, and the texture and the variety. I love detail, and so this will appeal to that part of me that likes that. So when I open it up to write something down, it already feels like a place that's comfortable for me to express my thoughts. So more in just a minute. I've done, this is clamped together and drying. Those are the pieces I just mentioned to you. I inked up the edge of that with the Distress ink by Tim Holtz and one of these stampers, daubers. I'm not sure what the technical name for them is, but they work really well for spreading ink. Everything else is the same, and it's in keeping with the vintage theme. But this adds just a slight lighter touch to it. Also, I chose this one for the gratitude because the jar made me think of putting stuff in there. And, you know, like you collect your thoughts, a jar collects things. And then here, remind me of the happiness. So those little word phrases, that's from this set here, can really summarize the intent of your page or your book. And then here, I just took this plain cover one. I inked up the edge. I may do something on the back yet. I haven't decided. But I cut out one of these. These are from Jessica Huffman. I'm a Cool Mom. You can find her on YouTube and Etsy. These are things that she offers. They're little vintage fabric pieces. Then I cut or ripped out a verse on Thanksgiving and prayer. And this includes Philippians 1, 9 through 11, which has been a prayer for my kids, especially as they were born. I would pray this over their crib when I said goodnight to them. You can look that up, Philippians 1, 9 through 11, if you're interested. And then I just cut out a butterfly from a nature journal to add that, I don't know, something about butterflies and vintage seem to go together. And then here, this little word phrase, again from this set, which I believe I found at Michael's, but I can't tell you much more about it than that. And it says she could believe. So this will be my notebook of prayer requests. And then when these are dry, we will go ahead and insert them into my traveler's notebook cover. Here you can see, I hope you can see, that the covers are done. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. I like these little buttons. That is on one of Jessica Huffman, I'm a Cool Mom's printable things from her Etsy shop. I think that's neat because it gives the illusion of dimension when it's not there, and then it doesn't bulk up your book. I've thought before I might make copies of buttons and just use those as accents where I want that cute little detail, but I don't want the bulk. And then these, again, the little word thingies are really fun. This one says she could believe. I don't know if I pointed that out earlier. Okay, so those are ready. I am going to open up my book. Now this is one I've just stuck in the front because it's where I'm doing my scripture writing, and I just want to take that out each day. So what I'm going to do is just take out this whole insert, the dashboard, the prayer one, and that was my gratitude one, and my prayer one here. So now I've got this space freed up. This is our band that allows us to attach more than one thing together, more than the allotted space. So there's, I think, 4 that come through here, or 6. I guess it's 4, something like that. Anyway, so I'm going to take these two. I'm going to use my expander rubber band. They have a name. You can look them up on Amazon. I've recently seen some at Joann's as well. And probably a regular rubber band would work too. These just have a nice length to them, and they're stretchy. Plenty of room, but this isn't so tight now that I'm afraid it's going to snap. They're designed for this. So there you see, I have the 2 books joined by the 1 rubber band, and that went through the center of each book. So there's 2 in 1. I'm going to put those in my dashboard, which is just a decorative cover for inserts. And I am going to just loop them through. I'll show you there again. This is part of the book. Comes with it. They can be tightened too, and I've often thought I need to go back and tighten these because they get floppy after a while. And I'm just going to put that through the 2 covers. So these 2 books have been joined with the rubber band. Then I put the dashboard around them, and I'm inserting them into the covers in place loop. So now within this dashboard, I have my prayer request book and my gratitude book. And I may play around with that a little bit because now I'm trying to remember how I inserted this also within that, but I will mess with that later anyway, so you get the general idea of how that works. And so these are the things I use most every day. If I generally get to reading my Bible and spending some time with God, then I specific time with him. He's always with us, but that concentrated time of hearing from him and praying, reading the Bible, these are those things. And then of course I have my other uses for my traveler's notebook. So there you go. We have decorated 2 new homemade traveler's notebooks, taken out the old, which will have a little keepsake spot till I decide what to do with them. Eventually I'm sure I'll pitch them, but some of those prayer requests are still current, and of course the gratitude ones are great to look back on for perspective. And there you have it. Thank you for joining me today. I enjoy doing these little movies, and it's always great to spend time with you. We will see you next time. Bye.